We got my crowd.
Putting on a gas mask, looks like. Yep, here goes the gas mask. The police are going to start shooting at unarmed civilians with gas. There is nothing we can do about it. It's going to happen, and the best thing we can do is keep our hands up and let them know that what they're doing is a choice, a conscious choice to follow an order to fire on unarmed civilians. That is what they're about to do. So just so you're aware, when it happens, there's nothing that we could have done. They made that decision, and now they're going to choose to do it. Here it is. Everybody you see tonight, nobody hurt them, nobody hit them. They literally are doing this on their own volition. Just be aware of that when you see that later on. Don't shoot no gas, man. For real, man. Dante Wright, Dante Wright, mother is speaking again.
I don't want to do laid on the ground over there. Three hundred people died. Belong to him. I'm just
She's saying she just wants peace. Her son is still laying on the street. Oh, you're good.
But you're used for that.
Again, this the mother of Dante Wright was just speaking. You can see her husband. At the front line, the police are pulling out tear gas, masks. Police are moving back again. Every response that the police do, the people are probably going to follow. We'll see. It looks like the marshals have a hold on the people right now, and they're holding them off.
Please respect her space right now. That's all I'm asking. Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name!
It's mostly all press that have crossed the line. Now everybody else is crossing the line, it looks like. The marshals and folks are trying to push people back again. How you doing?
Free white blood from the last mixtape from 38th in Chicago. Y'all jumped my white boy on Stone, he was beating y'all ass on my soul, and he like that. Free him right now, cause he innocent. Now, free white blood. Whoa.
People are walking them all the way down the block now. SWAT squad's going away in their jump out van.
Fuck them, y'all need to stop it, man. It's a revolution. It is a revolution, sis. But look. Scared.
Some glasses being thrown now.
crowd's moving down 63rd from Lee past Orchard now. So the scene of the killing was actually not 63rd and Lee. So again, what we know so far is a 20-year-old male, Dante Wright. He had a child and possibly his girl in the car with him. Police pulled him over thinking it was a carjacked car. His mother said it wasn't. There's something about he might have got pulled over for having a window air freshener hanging from the mirror. It's a large crowd. People are carrying the police tape.
Oh shit, y'all with this shit.
You happen to know exactly where
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. I've seen you around a little bit. I'm live streaming right now for Unicorn Riot. Would you want to talk to them?
Oh shit, yeah. I'm supposed to meet up with one of y'all.
Yeah, me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
You're live right now?
I am. Yep. You can keep walking and I'll walk backwards.
Okay, I'm like, I've been doing this for 300 plus days. I know how to walk backwards.
Yeah, okay, well, talk about your story. Introduce who you are. First of all, who you are, and then, like, what the scene is down here for you, and then talk about your story.
So, my Instagram handle is aesthetics_ash, but I go by my name, Aesthetics. I am a documentary filmmaker. I left my home May 29, 2020. In honor of George Floyd, because I really was tired of hearing about fake news and I wanted to see what happened on myself. On my journey, I've been going to different cities and learning about people's stories, and now, just like today, how we were just celebrating Justin Tigan's life for Tashira, the time that the march started is the time that they shot Dante Wright, which is crazy because literally every day we talk about we don't want to say another motherfucking name, and then we out here saying another fucking name, which is killing me. So hearing about his story literally broke my ass down to like molecules, because it's 20 years old. You have to understand, when we talk about Fred Hampton, when we talk about real revolutionaries, my man did not even think that he was going to make a wave, but he is making a wave right now, and this is the shit that brings me to my knees, because this is how we are here to change the narrative, because we're tired of cops killing us and they want to have the audacity to say that we savages, and this is why we're here. And luckily nothing bad has happened. It's a peaceful ass protest. I don't care what they try to tell you, but they are going to stop killing us, because if we don't see no justice, they're not going to get any sleep. But unfortunately, the scene right now, tension, you cut that bitch with a knife. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna stop anybody from grieving the way they need to grieve. I'm tired of police officers killing us and then telling us to behave. So when I saw that police do not cross line was taken down and they pushed it back, that's what I'm talking about. This is what democracy looks like.
Come on, bro.
Do we know if they keep marching, or where are you going? I'll follow you for a second for this interview.
Absolutely. I'm following the crowd right now because that's how I usually do. And honestly, I've heard multiple sources in the crowd say they're going to loot and riot tonight, so I'm not even worried about when it's going to happen. It's more of where it's going to happen. And unfortunately, Minneapolis is going to burn, so I guess Brooklyn got to go too. But right now I see a lot of people that are coming back, and that's probably because they know they're walking straight into a kettle position. And I don't need to walk into my kettle position, but thank God my ride is right there.
All right. You want to talk about your story a little bit? Maybe we can pull out to the side, let these cars go by. So you said basically almost coming up with 365 days soon. You left your house and you've been on this mission. You talk about that, what you've gone through, what you've seen, and maybe where people can find what the documentation you've had is.
It's on, everything is literally on my social media platform. That's why I get in a lot of trouble that I get into. But I feel like I started my journey in Oakland, California, and started going through the Bay Area down to SoCal. And then when I found my way into Seattle, Washington during the time of CHOP, that's when I was just like, oh my God, this is like a real thing. Unfortunately, we lost a comrade out there. Summer Taylor, they were unfortunately hit by a car by I want to call him an agitator, but people don't really know the real story. 2 hours prior to that, Officer Molly Clark, I should say, tried to run down the same group of protesters. These are the narratives that people don't know and don't hear, and this is the stuff that I have to document on my journey. And from leaving from Seattle, I've been all over, whether it's Louisville, Kentucky with the Brown and Taylor family, it's New York City, it's freaking Nashville. I mean, I've been to 19 different cities. I can't name them all, but it's just very difficult because everybody has a different story. And just like tonight, as we're on our way to one event, we hear about another. It just brings me back to Louisville, Kentucky, when we're out there for justice for Breonna Taylor and Travis Najee is killed. After his last Facebook post, it's all hands on deck, police officer involved shooting on this street. And as we're going to that shooting, another shooting happens and it's Travis's death. So I'm not playing a game out here, and it hurts, but I do hope that everybody knows that when we say we're boots on the ground, like we mean it. I look forward to when people come and give us food today like they did. Protest food is more than just pizza, y'all. We love the pizza very, but it's great when we get a home-cooked meal, and I appreciate that. And I'm not going to cap, Minneapolis has been literally the best city I've come across. The way y'all hold it down, it's almost as if y'all been doing this for I don't know how many freaking long. It's crazy how many bodies.
Shout out to Winter.
Trying to be like you when I grow up, okay? But it's amazing how I've learned so much city to city, and ever since Floyd died, there's been over 400 plus people that have died in Minneapolis alone. I don't know if anybody's paying attention, but there is a genocide happening right here in this town, and I want to shed light to it. And I know you do excellent work, so that's why I'm just so honored that you took the time to talk to me right now.
Sure, no, thank you for sharing your story too. Can you spell how to find people? Your name?
Aesthetics Conash, AESTHETICSCONASH.
Thank you. Last thing, maybe we'll face this way. So you were downtown a lot during the Locks for Love protest and the occupation. Can you talk about that as well, if you would want to?
I think they would hate me to talk about that because I'm not the public face. Look, let me tell y'all something. I love the allies. I love everything that y'all do. I appreciate what Kaya Hart started. Unfortunately, she couldn't finish it, and that's when I took it up. And I tell everybody, I'm not from this city. I don't have any children. I have no responsibility. I do plan on dying here. I don't want to, but I'm going to make sure that if I do, I stand up for what I mean. I just say Black Lives Matter. I mean that shit. So when we took over the protest, we're there every weekday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and we take a weekend, and we're on 38th in Chicago. This is what community looks like, and Kaya gave us that strength to continue that, and I appreciated her so freaking much. And I know that every time the Floyd family comes out and sees, it's only about 3 or 4 of us, we don't care, but when they see that, they know that George did not die in flame. If you could be out there thousands deep during the summertime and you're waiting on summer 2021 to come out, that hurts them. I want y'all to know that I traveled all the way across the country to make sure my butt is out there from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Y'all should too.
Any last words?
Shout out to Unicorn Ride It.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Send me a DM.
Yeah, for sure. Let me go cut this for a second.
That's dope.
Check. So, looks like a lot of the crowd that was going down the street is sort of like come back a little bit. and dispersed into different areas. Again, this was another person killed by police, 20-year-old Dante Wright. He was killed by police in Brooklyn Center today at 1:45-ish. They left his body in the street for, I think, at least 5 hours, 6 hours. We're going to go back to the scene where people were gathering. Looks like some people are still out, but a lot of the crowd seem to have dispersed. We'll see.
My brother-in-law, I couldn't stand him until like 7 years into the marriage. So that's
Again, sorry if you're just tuning in. It's a little lame walk. I'd rather keep the stream up, show you all sort of the aftermath if people are done. Either way, we're walking back to the scene of a police killing here in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, a north suburb of Minneapolis, off of 63rd and Lee. So we'll walk back up to the scene a little bit, seeing that people might be starting to maneuver their gathering over to the police station. So it might be happening. You see, it's a lot of traffic still that's driving through. Or that's stopped up here, not able to drive through. Oh no, thank you. Appreciate that. I don't think this was the scene, possibly. Here's his mom crying. So you see some of this car There's his mother crying. So again, that was the scene, basically 63rd and Catherine, right off of 63rd, right by 63rd and Lee. You see where the tire tracks are. There was a traffic stop, possibly. Police shot the person, Dante Wright, 20 years old, killed him. I think the car maneuvered into oncoming traffic, and there was a little accident from it. Evidently, possibly his girlfriend or somebody in the car was also there and witnessed and might have filmed what happened on a live stream, possibly, I'm not sure. Walking up to the scene of the protest. Still a large gathering.
Trio right here. I'm live right now. Cool with that? Yeah. Okay, cool. We're here joined by Jay Lonnie from CARE. You want to talk about what this atmosphere is like right now for you?
As you can see, people are still gathered here and they're hanging around. We're trying to figure out all the details of what took place this evening. Another officer-involved shooting of a 20-year-old black man, youth, I would say. Dwayne Wright, and so it's just an unfortunate situation. I'm really proud of the people showing up from all over the city just to be right out here, to be witnessing, to stand with the family and to stand with everybody. So as we get more information and more details, it's essentially important, if anybody saw something, to reach with the family and to be able to get as much pieces of what happened together. And so it's a testament of what is going to be happening anytime any loved one or anyone is killed by police. People will show up to the scene and they will figure out what happened. And so that's what happened this evening, and people will continue to be here until justice is served for Dante, but also for all the other stolen lives.
Thank you, Jay Lonnie.
I'll say so. I mean, so, you know, this is not shocking to us, but it does say something about the society we live in. That, we got George Floyd's murder on trial right here, not right up the street, right? And it says something to people who keep saying, "Well, we're making progress." We're not making progress if you're still shooting people down on traffic stops. Just the other day, I saw a guy who was a lieutenant in the U.S. Army get pulled over somewhere in Virginia, and because he couldn't see his license. It doesn't take a gun to pull somebody over about a driving violation. So it just tells you that the mentality of the U.S. police law enforcement has not changed. And the only thing that's going to change it is folks making their mind up, ultimately, that they're not going to stand for it anymore. And folks keep trying to push back on us like, well, what do we want? We just want to be able to do what everybody else can do. Walk down the street, breathe freely, drive without being harassed, drive without the fear of having our brains blown out, or being harassed, or dehumanized, or treated like less than a human being. It's insane that this would have happened. I mean, you would think that even the cops, all the forces all over the country saying, man, you know, the spotlight is on us. You know, we should probably chill for a bit. But you notice, the Twin Cities police forces aren't chilling. All the rest of the country sees it. They're not chilling. They don't care. They're still doing what they've done. And so we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to keep fighting. Well, we're going to fight till we can't fight no more to get justice for his brother Dante Wright. His mother was out here. It was a sad scene earlier. His mother's crying. You know, his mother was actually on the phone with him. When the police pulled him over, he called his mother and told him why they stopped him. They said something about he had the air fresheners hanging in the back of his car. And so he wasn't sure he had his insurance. So he called his mother to ask about where the insurance was. And I think the mother said she had the number, so just give the phone to the cops and you tell. So between that, he asked him why he even pulled over. And who knows, the way it escalated from there. Next thing you know, she said she heard the phone drop. And then she heard him say, don't run. And I don't know where he was running to. And then they shot him. Whoever shot him, shot him. That's what we know. But this is insane. This is insane. And a society keeps bragging about it being democratic and, you know, having so many rights. This is crazy. Something has got to give. You know, we keep talking about, everybody saying, well, the fact that Derick Chauvin's on trial is a sign that, you know, police are being held accountable. The blue line is being crossed. No, the blue line is being maintained. Trust me on that one.
Well maintained.
Yes.
Well maintained.
Thank you, Mel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan McClellan, well maintained. The blue line is continuing. Police accountability is far from being seen. What's happening here?
This is exactly what they designed. You know, last week the Senate voted to try to get officers fired who are a part of white supremacy, and that was rejected by the Republican Senate. So this is exactly what they want. They want chaos. They want black people dead in these streets, and we ain't taking that shit no more. We're not. So expect us here for a while until they start doing the right thing, until they start passing this legislation to hold them officers accountable for killing us. We ain't going nowhere, and we gonna be out here.
And then this was like, the killing happened right around the time that the rally for Justin Teigen was happening. Can you talk about that? Just coming from another rally where a lot of families spoke, a lot of families are out here grieving and looking for police accountability for themselves, and then you have Dante Wright getting killed just 20 minutes away.
Right. Today was Justin Teigen's birthday, and while we're marching and in remembrance of Justin Teigen, we're hearing about what's happening here. And every time a murder or something, a shooting like this happens, it rips the wounds, and it's a fresh situation all over again. And we're tired of it. We're fed up.
Anything else you'd want to say?
I want to thank everybody for coming out. We're going to be here until it's done. We're going to keep on doing our work at the Capitol, and we're going to keep on trying to hold these officers and law enforcement accountable in the behind the scenes as well as out here too. But we need people to show up.
Can you talk about, real quick, where can people find more information about the legislative pushes you're talking about?
They can go to mncoalition.org. They can go to themjc.org. And those are the places that they can go. If they go to mncoalition.org, they can sign up and see exactly what legislative initiatives that we're pushing, and they'll have an opportunity to sign up and put their name on some of those initiatives as well.
Justice for Dante Wright.
All right, yep.
Thank you.
Hey, you want to talk?
Yep, I do. I'm Dante's right little sister. They killed my brother for nothing. He had no weapons on him. I'm confused. Why do we keep living like this? Why do they keep killing us? I keep asking. Why I gotta live through? I gotta be scared too. Everybody gotta be scared. Cause look what they doing to us. This is too sad. I can't believe what the world has turned into. This is crazy. It's tiring. We're getting tired, but we gotta keep fighting until we get what we deserve.
Can you talk about your brother?
What do y'all wanna know?
What kind of person was he? What's your favorite memories?
He is so goofy. Like he just makes everybody happy. Like if you see anybody sad, he'll come to you and make you so happy. And that's just, they took my brother away from me. And y'all don't understand. Like, I'm so hurt. They really just took him. I still can't believe it. I still keep thinking I'm finna go home and see him. No, they took my brother from me. And it really hurts. It really does.
When's the last time you saw him?
The last time I saw him was a week ago. The last time I saw him, it was a week ago.
Did you think it would be the last time?
No, I never would think that. I always make sure, that's so crazy though, I just can't believe this. I I really can't. But thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
Sister Destiny.
That was his sister speaking, talking to Mel now. What up? You want to talk? What brings you out? Obviously, it's another police killing. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it, and from the details that I've heard thus far, I think it's unfortunate that I believe it was a piece of object, a usual object that people have hanging from their mirror, was obstructing his view, or the police thought that it was obstructing his view, and they pulled him over for it. But the bottom line is nobody should come out dead from a situation like that. It sounds like he was on the phone with his mother, which adds another layer of poignantness to it. Yeah.
Do you feel like there's any stopping to this?
Well, I can only go off of what I've seen thus far, and clearly it hasn't stopped. We're just going to continue to come out here peacefully and state our case, not only to the police, but to the public. We're in a suburb this time. It's Brooklyn Center. And we're here to tell folks that we're here, we're peaceful, and we can solve this issue if all of us come together and are united on the fact that people shouldn't fear for their lives when dealing with law enforcement. Yeah.
Anything else you'd want to say?
Well, I just say to the folks watching at home, make sure you pay particular attention to the crowd here tonight. It's a peaceful crowd. Folks just want to have their voices heard. A couple blocks down, the mother of the individual is crying, and she is being comforted by the community. So before you jump to conclusions on why we're here, I think you just got to listen, and you have to understand that we just want justice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nico.
Whatever they got, because they know they done fucked up. They got the walls built up, the razor wire and the fences up, because they know they done fucked up. This doesn't go back. This doesn't go back. Going forward, this is the way it's gonna be. The toothpaste is out the tube. It ain't gonna change. We're gonna keep showing up like this every single time. You see these brothers out here crying. You see these brothers out here expressing themselves. We've been denied our permission to feel for a lifetime until they take our lives. And we feel we gotta buck up because that's the way we've been raised. I got no fear in my heart. You got no fear in your heart. You got no fear in your heart. Now you think about your father. You think about your father's father. Think about your father's father's father. Those people stood on the edge of a fucking dime so we would be here today. That's right. They stood on the edge of a dime so that we would be here today. Now y'all can be off key, but you can't be off rhythm. You can be off key, but you can't be off rhythm. I want you to sing after me. Sing with me. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Louder. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know. Come on. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Ancestors watching, I know they're watching. Louder. Keep going, keep going. Dante has a son, a little louder, a little louder. We want his family to hear it. We want Dante's ancestors to hear this. We want Dante's future to hear this. Your ancestors are watching you right now. Your whole life led up to this sacred circle. What are you going to do with the information going forward? What's the future going to be for this city? What's the future going to be for you? What's the future going to be for black men? I'll bring it down low.
You gotta put in women too, cause we gonna be on the next. We on the next docket. They didn't kill black women too.
No power to the people.
People got power. There is power in our voices. There is power when we come together. When we stand united as one people, there is a power that is like no other. That's why they try to separate us. That's why they pit us against each other. That's why they pit Hispanics against blacks and blacks against Africans. And these fighting parents against each other. They don't want us to have that power. They don't want us standing together. I'm telling you, what they will do to us, they will do to you. And until we come together as one people, until we fight this fight together, it's not ever going to change. Ever going to change. Everything that's happened to us, the civil rights movement, I'm out of breath, y'all, I'm trying. The civil rights movement, soon after the civil rights movement, we fought for immigration rights. Because we loved y'all enough that we wanted y'all to come be with us. That's what happened. Don't let them tell you no different. It was black people who fought for immigration. It was black people who stood out there. And I'm sorry because I'm out of breath right now, but I'm telling you the truth. The Civil Rights Bill of 1865, we did that. The Immigration Act of 1966, who did that? We did that. Who did that? We did that. We love you. Don't let them tell them nothing different. We love you so much that we laid our life on the line so we can bring y'all here with us.
Thank you.
Act like you love us. Stop doing that. Stop treating us like you don't love us, because we loved you. We loved you first. I just wanted to let you know that you don't have to believe me. They got history books. You don't have to believe me, but it's the truth. What we thought was going to happen was that you were going to come here, see us in our struggle, and stand with us, and stand with our against our oppression. But that's not what happened. We have an opportunity. We have an opportunity to do that now. We have an opportunity to stand together right now. In this moment, it's not too late. Who will stand? Who will stand with us? Will you stand with us? Yes. Will you stand? I can't get no louder. Will you stand with us? Yes. Will you stand? Yes. Will you stand with us? We need you right now. We are tired. We fought for you. Come fight for us. Fight with us. We ain't even asked you to fight for us. We asked you to fight with us. Can I see my Hispanic brothers and sisters' hands? Can I see my African brothers and sisters' hands? We need you. Don't think that we don't love you. Because we love you. We loved you enough that our ancestors put their lives on the line for you. So we're asking that you stand with us. Don't let us do this by ourselves no more. We can't do it alone. Are you with us? Yes. Are you with us? Yes.
So, this is good. Y'all getting a little history. The brothers and sisters are laying out some stuff. So, at some point, y'all, we got to know, you need to know the truth about what's really going on here, right? I think I heard people say it's us versus them. And you hear people saying all kind of things about who the tops are. Some of them are good, some of them bad. Listen, anytime any group of individuals keep doing the same thing over and over, common sense should tell you what? That they're doing it on purpose, right? They're killing us on purpose, right? I'm not trying to stop, I'm just telling you the truth. The police exist to keep us in our place. The police exist to keep us in our place. That's why they lock us up. That's why they over-police in our neighborhood. Because that's their job. The rest of that is bullshit. Their main job is to put us in our place. That's their job. Their job is to reinforce the stereotypes and keep us separated. That's why they beat on us. That's why they lock us up. That's why we have mass incarceration. Black folks need to know the truth. We are oppressed in this United States of America. It's reality. Right? It's our reality. And as long as we keep pretending like, oh, it's not this, it's not. No. The truth of the matter is we are oppressed people. That's what we are. And the only way we're going to get free is the way other people have gotten themselves free. And it's got to be intelligent. I understand people being pissed off and upset today, throwing themselves out in front of people who got automatic rifles. That's not how you win. You win by outsmarting them. Right? You get in a war, you figure first thing you got to know when you get in a war, you got to know your enemy. Right? You can't be running around talking about, well, some of the cops is good, some of them, because we got a black police chief, that's all right. That's not true. Right? The black police chief was the one in charge today, wasn't he? Yeah. What's that tell you? You got to use your brain. It ain't about no black police chief, you see. It ain't about no black cop, no Asian cop, no. It's about the cops. They exist to keep us in our place.
Yes.
Right? We live in a system that exploits us, right? You go to work, they exploit you. Right? They try not to pay you what they're supposed to pay you. This is systemic, y'all. Right? When you know it, you buy a house, you rent a house, and you pay more than you should pay for the damn rental house. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All this stuff is tied together. You go to the store, they charge you more, especially if it's in the hood, than they do other people. We got to wake up at some point. You just got to look the truth in the eye and say, all right, we're going to have to get out here and do what we need to do. Now, right now, if we're going to get justice for this brother, and it ain't sexy, it don't sound cute, we're not going to be able to get justice, not right now, by pulling no pistols, but we're going to have to get justice by showing our behinds up. Wherever they call a protest, they call it the police station, the mayor's office, you got to show up. And people talk that stuff about, well, man, protests don't work. You know, people say protests don't work, they'll never protest. I know that I'll never see them at the protest, but they say, oh, it don't work. They're a lie. Protest is the only thing that ever works. The reason that we ain't in separate bathrooms and all that food is because of protest. Y'all remember that, right? Because of protest. The reason that Derick Chauvin behind is sitting in that trial, tomorrow is because of what? Protest. They wouldn't have put him on trial if we had not protest. We raised hell, right? We got to keep raising hell. You got to keep, there's this whole... And that's how you win. I want to sit here all night.
You want to hear from the community.
Go ahead.
I want to sit here all night.
Go ahead. So that's how we win. This is how we'll win.
I won't move.
Remember Freddie Douglas said, if there's no struggle, there's no progress. No struggle, 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 no progress. It may be uncomfortable. You may have to get off the couch tomorrow. You may have to get off on Wednesday. We may call a protest on Friday. We may call one next. But you got to get your behind out of the house to the protest for us to win. You got to stop talking shit. You're going to have to lock shoulders with your neighbors. You got a problem with your neighbor, it's time to lay that shit down. Right? Because what sense does it make me and you be fighting and we got a man trying to kill us? That don't make no sense, does it? So we're going to have to come together. Black, white, Asian, Latin, because they're all against us. If you ain't got no money, y'all know what time it is. You ain't nothing happening for you, right? And because black folks are black, they impress us because we black. They impress on white folks because they ain't got no money. Well, tell them like it is. If you ain't got no money, you ain't got no juice with them either. So we got to stand together and we got to keep fighting. It ain't no easy thing, but I'm going to tell you now. There ain't no shortcuts. Am I right, sister? Right? Am I right, brother? No. There ain't no shortcuts, right? I've been doing this a long time. We win sometimes. It's a damn lie that we don't win. Sometimes we win. And we win because we keep fighting. Right? Am I right? We win because we fight. And even when we lose, we still sometimes win because we back them up. So the only way we're going to win this is we can't be hard and fight with each other. We are going to have to stand up and fight back. When they call the protest, you're going to do what?
Stand up, fight back.
When they call the protest, you're going to do what?
Show up.
When they call the protest, you're going to do what?
Show up.
When they call the protest, what you going to do?
Show up.
When they call the protest, what you going to do?
Show up.
When they call the protest, what y'all going to do?
Show up.
When they call the protest, what are y'all going to do?
Show up.
That's how we'll win.
I'm feeling convicted. This sister didn't lose her life today. But I'm sitting here and I'm not going to let this night be over if I don't talk about Nikita Robinson. Nikita Robinson. Nikita was killed by my ex-husband on Wednesday. She lost her life. He stabbed her to death on Wednesday. And she lost her life, and he is on the run. He is on the run right now. His name is Jerome Anthony Woodland. If you see him, call the police. That sister deserves justice. She's not going to get a rally. She's not going to get a protest. Nobody's going to go and crowd her name. But I'm going to say, get justice for Nikita. Kia needs justice. Kia needs justice. Kia needs justice.
Kia needs justice.
I don't care if that's my ex-husband. I don't care if I know that brother. He killed that woman. He killed her cold blood.
My daughter.
So I wasn't going to be able to leave here and not mention that sister's name. If I'm out here fighting for Mr. Right, I got to respectfully say, because I knew that sister. And I loved her in some sort of strange way. Right? I loved her. And so she deserves justice. Kia deserves justice. Let me say one more time. Kia deserves justice. deserves justice.
We're here live, 63rd and Lee. The scene where Dante Wright lost his life to police killing. Seems like some of the crowd from earlier has also gathered over at Brooklyn Center Police Department.
The guy that just died by the police, he was murdered by the police. He doesn't want to be known, and I get that. But my daughter is only 13 years old. So why somebody else die that's close to your age?
She was in the car with him?
She wasn't in the car with him. She was with him before this. She's crying back there because she has a million pictures with this guy. She loved him. She said he was the first person that ever loved her. Now he's gone. So I woke up this morning, she's just like, what do I do, Mom? What do I do, Mom? He's dead, he's dead. This is my 15-year-old daughter. My 15-year-old daughter does not have to deal with losing a friend or a lover at that age. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, real quick,
He was just holding my daughter. He was just holding my daughter like. That was my daughter. That was her.
Nah, a lot of us are going through it right now, but I think like coming together in times like this is what we need, and this is what our people have been doing since we were brought here, and I think a big part of that, like singing songs of freedom means a lot to me. You got to think back on that boat ride. You got to think back in the fields. Our people, that's all they had was to sing and uplift each other in whatever way they can. With the Asada chant, we chant it every time, but we're going to switch it up. We're going to sing it a little bit. So it's going to be my side. Tucson's going to lead the other side. So it's going to go from here to here. And then at the end, we all sing together. So it's real simple. So it's just we have nothing to lose but our chains. That part, okay? So it goes like we have nothing to lose but our chains. Say we have nothing to lose but our chains. Say we have nothing to lose but our chains. Say we have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Louder, we have nothing to lose but our chains. Say we have nothing to lose but our chains. Louder, we have nothing to lose but our chains. One more time, say we have nothing to lose but our chains. Y'all keep going. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. One more time. We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Say his name. 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 Say his name.
This is why we have to make sure that we don't let them trick us, okay? They're out here in the courtroom. The sheriff wants to go out there and say, this isn't their job. Their job is to fucking kill us. Their job is to terrorize our neighborhood. This is why we need to make sure that we get systemic change. Because until we get that, nothing's gonna change. They can throw away Derick Chauvin and
justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No peace.
Tear down Babylon, black people all about. We ready. We ready. Tear down Babylon, black people all about. We ready.
Again, we're live here in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, at the scene of a police killing. Dante Wright, 20 years old, lost his life earlier today by Brooklyn Center police during a traffic stop.
We ready. I need somebody's chart taking over. I can't talk. Tear down Babylon, black people all about.
There's a gathering here on 63rd. There might be another gathering at the police station of 66th and Humboldt. Dante's sister over here crying.
Black people all about. We ready. We ready. Tear down Babylon. Black people all about. We ready. We coming. We ready. We coming. Bow down Babylon, black people all about. We ready. We coming. We ready. We coming. Bow down Babylon, black people all about. We ready. We coming. We ready. We coming. Bow down Babylon, black people all about. We ready. We coming. We ready. We coming.
Yeah.
All right.
My name is Sochi Mazak with the Brown Berets, and I'd like to say that Chicano stands with my black brothers and sisters. Chicano stands with my yellow and... My bad. I love the four directions and I love the four colors. My red brothers and sisters, my black brothers and sisters, my yellow brothers and sisters, my white brothers and sisters. Chicano power is here to stay. We have been standing with you since day one, and I hope you stand with us when the time comes, because I will be out there when you need me. I'm a lot closer than you think. This is my neighborhood, and I promise you I will be here when you call me. A murder! Give you la cosa! Give you la cosa! Give you la cosa! Chicano power! Chicano power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! We are here, and we are here to stay. Our neighborhood, our streets. Thank you.
I don't want you guys to ever forget what I told you today. That the Immigration Act of 1866 was dear and dear to the hearts of our ancestors.
There's a Brown Beret member right there.
Immigration. We fought to bring our brothers, our African brothers here, our African sisters, our Latino brothers, our Latino sisters here, because we understand that if what we knew that if we could come together as one, this could not have changed. This could change. But what the white man knew, if he could divide us and classify us and make us look down on each other, to continue to dominate us.
Unity is what they feared. This right here is what they feared. I see all colors around: white, black, Asian, brown. This is what they feared. They don't want us to be unified. They don't want us to stand next to each other. They don't want us to hug. They don't want us to love one another. They want us to hate each other. They want us to kill each other. And I'm so sorry, but that's what we've been doing. But that stops now. Right now. Because the one person that's been killing us since day one is the man in higher power. That's right. It's fuck 12 till I DIE. And I love my people. This is what they don't want. They fear unity. And unity is what we have here in this sacred circle. Give them what they fear. Unity and love for one another. Fuck 12. Fuck 12. Fuck 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can somebody else say this? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Where my black folks at? Where my Asian folks at? Oh shit! Where my brown folks at? We're all here! Unity is what they fear! We're all here! Unity is what they fear! Give them what they're scared of! Because I'm here in the front lines with boots on the ground, beret on my head! I'm not scared! They are!
Minnesota has to be the example. All eyes are on us right now. We have to be the example of unity and love across the nation, across the world. And let me say this. We love our Asians in Minnesota. We're not trying to hurt them. We love them. We're not trying to hurt them. Don't let the media fool you. Don't let white men fool you. Don't be tricked. Black people are not trying to attack Asian people in Minnesota or in California.
No.
Nowhere. They attacking Asian people. We not scared. We weren't never scared of COVID. That was them. We love Asian people, so we want to let you know that you ain't got to be scared to walk the streets with us. You might be scared to be with us. I would say more, but my voice is leaving.
There was a gentleman who was standing right here. He quoted Frederick Douglass earlier. Everybody heard that quote there? If there's no struggle, there is no progress. You heard that? How many of you have heard the whole thing? About to? Go ahead. 1857. He says that there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom yet depreciate agitation are men who want crops without plowing the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its many waters. See, power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and never will. You find out just what any people will quietly submit to, and you have found the exact measure of injustice and wrong which will be imposed upon them, and they will continue until they are resisted with either words or blows or with both, because the limits of tyrants are going to be prescribed only by the endurance of those whom they oppress.
Go ahead, girl.
That's not me, that's Frederick Douglass.
We appreciate you saying.
I'm from New Orleans. I came out here in May for justice for George Floyd, and I came back to see this through, and then I found out about this today. So we letting you know there's white brothers and sisters all around the world that feel exactly like me, and we just as much, and we on boots on the ground right here with you. So don't go away from that.
He doesn't know, but we right there too.
Let's do it for you. Justice.
Justice.
Let it burn.
I was gonna say, let it burn, girl.
Let it burn and take it away.
I can sit here and talk about everything I hate, the police, the government, but I'd like to take a moment and talk about everything I do love and appreciate. I love that when times get hard, unity happens. We don't know each other, but yet we're still here, loving each other. It's all love. I love the fact that when we say boots on the ground, you guys are all there. I love the fact that when we needed help, you guys were there. And I love the fact that when you guys need help, we will be there too. I love my community. I love Minneapolis. But what I love even more is each and every one of you. I don't know your name. I don't know your favorite food. But I love you for standing out here. It's not an easy thing to stand out here. Most of us are arrestable. But we're not scared. We're tired. We're sickened. I don't want my child growing up in this. I don't want my child being a brown beret. I want my child being whatever he wants to be without police getting in the way. I want my child to grow up in a world where he can look at his father and say, damn, my dad did that, so I don't have to. I want my child to look up at me one day and say, damn, I don't gotta fight for La Causa. I just gotta live. I just gotta breathe. I just gotta go to college, do this, that, whatever I please. Unity is what they fear, and I will always say that. So yeah, fuck 12, fuck 12 every day.
Every day.
It's something so much more than hate. Fuck 12, but something that will be so much stronger than hate is this love we have for each other. This love we have for each other as we stand together is so much greater than the hate I have for 12, I have for the government. I can throw my middle finger in the sky all night. But sometimes I gotta sit down and appreciate what is this. This is what makes a difference. Unity, love for one another.
That's Dante's sister right there crying. In a white shirt.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! If Dante don't get it, on it now!
Either Dante's sister or his friend.
Because I do know that no movement is won unless the white people, unless the young people come forward and lead that movement. That is the absolute truth. The Civil Rights Bill wasn't passed because of Dr. King. How many of y'all thought the Civil Rights Bill was passed because of Dr. King? No. The Civil Rights Bill was passed because of the children's movement in the South. Because the children skipped school and went out in the streets. We need young people. So if Dante don't get it, shut up. If Dante don't get it, if Dante don't get
I want to hear from some of you. I want to hear from some of y'all. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Cause I hear some chants from some of the young people out here. We ain't gonna be. We might not be at the next one. We trying to train them up as this goes. Come out, baby girl. You leave the chant up.
What up, man? How you doing? You want to talk at all? It's another one. You want to talk about what you're feeling like? Introduce yourself if you want.
I'm Trey Cruz of BLL, Minnesota. I'm not shocked, but I can't believe the audacity of Minnesota police to kill somebody like this during George Floyd's trial. So it's really, it shows how they really feel about us and that they're not really thinking correctly. And I believe he was unarmed, so we're still trying to get the details of what's happening. You got a grieving family up the street. We got protesters right here. And then we got military occupation all mixed together with the George Floyd trial going on and everything. So this is just really some super unjust shit that's happening right now.
Family through. Hey, move it up. Family coming through.
There goes the mom in the passenger seat. Everybody's clearing the way for the mom and family to come through.
Family coming through.
Y'all stay through.
They're moving the cars right now. So again, we're here live on 63rd Ave, Brooklyn Center, scene of a police killing. The mom is driving by now.
We're going to one on Humboldt.
Still maybe a few hundred people out here. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about going to the police station on 63rd of Humboldt, 66th of Humboldt.
We on camera, man. Black people lives, man. I'm here with my cousin James right here on the phone with us, man. We need to quit all this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We need to take advantage of how the police doing us. You know what I mean? Because the men that deserve it. You feel me? And I'm going to leave it at that. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It looks like people are now moving. Looks like they're going to the police station right now.
How far is the police station?
66 in Humboldt.
Oh, that's like 3 blocks.
I don't know. I don't even know. I know it's 3 blocks that way, but I don't know how many blocks to Humboldt. Yeah. But when I leave, I don't know where Humboldt is comparatively. Maybe that light. I'm not sure. I just don't know Brooklyn Center. How far is it? Yeah, that's cool. Oh, word.
It's gonna get out here at all.
DC is right up here.
Get your four-way flashes. Let's go. Make sure the kids are straight.
It looks like the large amount of people are now maneuvering themselves to the police station. Walking right now down 63rd. Pretty amped up crowd. Passing June Ave, 63rd. Again, this is about, I don't know how long ago, it's 2 p.m. There was a young man, 20 years old, Dante Wright, was killed by police here in Brooklyn Center. People are now gathering. People have been gathering since the killing, and they're now maneuvering themselves up to the police station, from my understanding. We're going to continue to follow them, document. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. Thank you all for joining.
No peace! Prosecute the police! No justice, no peace!
How far is it? Oh, that's how I was just about to...
Fuck 12! Fuck 12! Fuck 12! Fuck 12!
In 66, yeah. Oh, damn. Oh, shut up. Yeah. Word, thanks for that.
Thank you for being here.
For sure, thank you. This walk looks really long. Let's see. Thank you, man. Peace.
Prosecute the police! Prosecute the police!
Okay. We are going to keep documenting this. We're going to bring the stream down. I'm going to drive over there. We will follow the caravan. Continue to follow our work. UnicornRiot.ninja is our website. UR_ninja is our Twitter feed. Go back into the stream. Check out what we filmed earlier. A lot of interviews with some folks, as well as we heard from his mother, father, and sister. Continue to follow us. Thanks to Chris for running the back end. And we will be back live, probably. Hopefully, we'll be documenting either way. Hey, what's that?
Are you heading to the police?
Yes. Yep. We'll continue to document everything that's happening. And if we don't go back live, we'll be tweeting. So check out our Twitter feed. Again, thank you. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. We can bring the stream down back end. Thank you to Chris for running the back end. We'll be back live, hopefully, soon. Again, there's just hundreds of cars following now.
community that exists, and even if the police were to roll over this place, the people will come right back, and the barricades will come right back up, and they're not going to be able to quash this space.
No justice. No streets. No justice. No streets. No justice. No streets.
Let me tell you that the city killed a man. Yes. And that is why we are here. That is why the community is standing for justice and asking and demanding for justice.
This street does not belong to you anymore, City of Minneapolis. You're going to have to negotiate. You're going to have to give us some justice if you want that street back.
After George Floyd was murdered, the barricades went up and the demand went out. And those demands, the justice resolution, has played a very, very key role in establishing this as a space of protest and establishing this as an autonomous zone. That's been the reason the barricades stay up.
It's for holding the police accountable, it's for demanding justice, and it's also demanding structural changes and investments into the community.
It isn't any one individual demand, it is a collection of needs and wants from this community saying, these are the things that we need in order to move forward to heal. And it's just talking about the beginning steps. And so we're talking about merely $155 million over the course of 10 years, which is really not a huge amount of money when we're talking about the oppression and the systematic racism that has kept this community down from the beginning.
But we understand that this is not the beginning, neither is this the end to justice. Play your role. We're not asking you, we're demanding, play your role. Bring the resources. We have the healers, we have the teachers. Quit pimping us. Quit prostituting us. Expecting us to run into a burning building with a water gun. Give us the resources so that we can now heal our own land with our own bodies. People who look like us, sound like us, move like us, and think like us.
What can change, or what can be different, or what can be better, or what can happen where we're okay to opening up the streets if we say no justice, no street. And yeah, the 20 to 40 demands is here, but that's just a scratch on the surface, because that doesn't really say black liberation.
GFS has utilized a partial demand very, very well to prop up the space, and it's a partial demand in the sense that it's not necessarily demanding the complete collapse of the world capitalist system. We say that we hold the space until the demands are met, and the city certainly does not want to meet the demands, and so they won't take back the space. So we're in a sort of crossfire.
They're going to have to meet those demands before we give up 38th Street. We're not giving it up. 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 No justice. No streets.
One of the big things about how things are defeated beforehand, it's when you don't develop processes and systems that can continue to keep themselves up. At GFS, every day there's a meeting in the morning and a meeting in the night. And that has been one of the ways that community has really, really developed. And you look around here, you see bus stops turned into storage, bus stops turned into a people's closet. You see bookshelves going up. You see we've got a medical shed. We've got a greenhouse.
We've got a library. 612 MASH is a medic organization that operates out of the square. And there's this People's Way. This is a public space. It's a public meeting space, and it's a public space of a real community and joy and unity. And it's a sacred space, and it's a space of grieving and also of liberation. And so for people who are coming in here, people come from all over. It's almost a pilgrimage site in that way. I think it's something really to be said about how the common spaces and collectively maintained spaces have been eroded by capitalism. You can see this as a return of the commons in a lot of ways.
In the ruins of capitalism, we've built something new, and something that sort of leaders in the square, Marsha especially, has said before. This is a blueprint for how society can be. How society can be organized, how we can develop community and come here together and meet the needs of the community. Because every day there are people who are unhoused who will come here sort of to find sanctuary. They'll come here and they'll get fed, they'll get clothed, and they'll get resources to get housed. And that's a thing that literally the state has been unable to provide. And the fact that community has been able to come in and fulfill that role it spells out exactly why this is the way of the future and not the way of the state.
It looks like many things at many times a day if you've been in this square. But in all those hours of every day, it still looks like community. It's community.
I'm out here with my passion. I'm out here for my feelings, or because somebody else told me to, or somebody had to convince me to be out here, or somebody to convince me to stay out here every day. No, I made up my mind when it all happened, and this is home. Like, look, this is home. I done ran down these streets.
In my first meeting that I came with a close friend of mine, I was instantly sold because how they embrace black people, especially the black man in this community, I mean, it's beautiful. I've never had a chance to experience this much black love in the area. No hatred, no undercutting. They just want to see the success of a black man here, and that's pretty much what brought me here.
What made me start was at the uprising, the space was filled with hundreds and hundreds of people. So I came out during the evenings about 5-ish and stayed till like maybe 6 a.m. or something like that. I barbecued right on the street every night at 9:45, especially when they broke out the curfew. When they broke out the curfew, we had to be in the house at about 10 p.m. or we're gonna get a citation and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, we ain't going home. Spark grills at 9:45 and barbecued until I ran out of food. Costly, very, very costly, because barbecue is not cheap whatsoever, but it kept the square fed at the time. Food makes people happy. Food brings people together. I didn't think I was going to come out here and be feeding people for 6 months. No. I don't get paid for what I do. That's just out the genuine of my heart. Just like if we needed to secure the space and make sure it needed to be secured. Until we find out exactly who's going to do that all day, every day, I'll take some of my time.
If you're stationed on a barricade, it's keeping an eye out for the police.
We're gonna hold this down. They got an army, we got our own army. It don't matter. They wanna call this the United States. It's not the United States. We're not with the system. We are showing them how united we can actually be. So as of that, we're gonna be careful and be aware. And to be aware is to be alive. So be careful out here in every state, for real, and be well protected. And that's all I gotta say. Now I'm gonna have to watch out for everybody.
And it's, opening and closing for residents coming in and out. At certain barricades have like gates that we open and close so people can still get in and out of the space to their homes. We're not trying to inconvenience anybody. We have masks, bottled water, snacks, basic resources like this that we'll pass out to people. We'll greet people coming into the space. I think like the sort of first importance of this space is as a memorial, as a sacred space for grieving a black man who was murdered by the state. And I think it's also grown into a really powerful autonomous community of mutual aid, and really not just envisioning but enacting a community that is as free as we can be from policing and from the United States as a settler colonial fascist government.
GFS it's kind of the epicenter of an uprising, right? And it's been operating very well as a staging ground for other types of struggles that are ongoing in the area, whether that be stuff for Line 3, whether that be stuff in the housing movement, all types of racial justice movements. It's been sort of a center for activists all across the city.
There's many memorials in this space. The biggest ones are for George Floyd, but there's also the Street of Names and Say Their Names Cemetery, which are both really, really moving, large-scale testaments to the memories of lives stolen by the police. And there's also plenty of individual memorials. Murphy Ranks' memorial is down the street there. And honestly, there's so many that really shows the power of this space to hold testament to so many, as well as to George Floyd, first and foremost.
Because it ain't like we ain't got homes to go to. It ain't like we ain't got lives outside of the square, because we do. We're just learning how to maintain and juggle what life is and what the square is. Love you, babe.
No justice, no streets. If they want these streets, they gotta get into these demands. We got solidarity, y'all. We here. They want a little bit of street. They gotta give us a little bit of justice.
This as we're approaching the third. As you can see, the crowd continuing to march along here. I want to thank all of you guys for watching. Make sure that you guys follow and sign up for notifications, as I will be streaming the trial tomorrow. We start day 1 of week 3 in the Chauvin trial. But again, here in Brooklyn Center, where a man was killed by police, protesters marching to the police department to continue protesting and demanding that the officers be fired and charged with his death. Another thing to know, earlier we had the chance to speak with Amity. Her son was killed, Kobe Heisler, by the Brooklyn Center Police Department, just blocks away from where Dante was killed today. And it was very triggering for her to be there in that space, just blocks away from where her son was killed by the Brooklyn Center Police Department. And we know that here in Minnesota, there have been a number of cases, some of them high profile, some of them you guys are familiar with, like Jamar Clark, Philando Castile, and of course George Floyd. But there have been a number of other police killings that have not been as well known, that have not gone, to be high profile cases. And so nationally, people are not familiar with people like Kobe Heisler, Marcus Golden, Justine Tigan, the list goes on and on, Jafford Smith, Nakia Moody. There are so many that have happened here, and so we tend to see the same group of individuals here protesting, demanding accountability, demanding change within the police departments here. There's 8 pieces of legislation that organizers are trying to pass, including ending qualified immunity, including ending no-knock warrants, ending the statute of limitations. There's quite a few other, ending the fact that police would be, the only first responders to mental health crises. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but there's some smoke up there. One of the vehicles that was following protesters is what they call burning rubber. You can now smell it. You can visibly see it. And I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but the tensions and energy here remain high. Protesters are now marching to the Brooklyn Center Police Department. We've probably walked close to a mile now at this point, and still a little ways to go. You can definitely smell all the burnt rubber now as we're getting closer to the place where it happened, where they were spinning their wheels. You can still see smoke.
All right, good. All right, keep going.
Again, I see quite a few people just joined. Protesters are marching to the Brooklyn Center Police Department. We have now walked well over, I'd say about a mile, and have a little ways to go. There's a combination of people walking and people caravanning in their vehicles.
taking both sides of the streets. Some vehicles are trailing behind the protesters to make sure that they stay safe. And so at this point, in terms of location, earlier when we were at the site where Dante Wright was killed by Brooklyn Center Police, we were on 63rd and Lee. And if you're familiar with the Metro Twin Cities area, we are now crossing over, I believe this is Interstate 94, right by Motel 6, not too far from the Brooklyn Boulevard exit. And so here, I think that is private security that has the light there in their vehicle. It is starting to sprinkle a little bit, not too bad, but we are crossing over the interstate here. Very close where I believe 94 intersects with 694. So this individual here was just standing in the street, and the security detail vehicle that I showed you guys stopped and asked him, "What's wrong with you?" And he said, "Cheers," and started running. So now we see that same security vehicle checking into the crowd to see exactly what he's doing. He actually had a backpack. There was another strange, suspicious individual earlier who had on a trench coat as well. So they're now looking for the individual who had the backpack, but it appears that he ran off and potentially just got into this vehicle here. And so this is what we see, you know, oftentimes when there's protesters out here, there tends to be agitators or outside groups, people who have conflicting beliefs and values that show up to agitate and sometimes cause harm. That was one of the things that we saw happen at, I believe it was the protest, one of the protests for Jamar Clark. There was a shooting that occurred. And yeah, so you definitely have to stay on high alert. One of the individuals from the security detail vehicle just got out. And there's usually a handful of medics and community marshals that are on alert to keep people safe. And again, I just saw quite a few new people join. Protesters are marching to the Brooklyn Center Police Department to continue protesting after several hours following the shooting of Dante Wright, which ultimately led to his death. His family was at the site where he was killed earlier, and protesters have now joined them, followed them to the police department. We have a helicopter actually that is also following us. Sometimes it's difficult to make out whether or not those helicopters are police-owned helicopters or media-owned helicopters that are trying to take a shot of the protest or the march. But there is a helicopter that is also following us. I'll see if I can show you guys here. Take a look. So it's been circulating pretty much the entire night.
Unlawful assembly at the police station.
Oh, there's been an unlawful assembly declared at the police station, which means that I will get as close as I can, but they will end up trying to arrest people. Do you know how much further?
I think there's a 25-minute walk, and they said people are going to be arrested in 10 minutes. And they're shooting with less than yeah, there's a report of a medic shot with a rubber bullet.
Ahead at the police station already?
Station, yeah.
So not sure if you guys heard that, but individuals who are marching to the police station said that they've received text messages from friends saying that an unlawful assembly has been declared at the police station, and a community medic, who is usually a volunteer that's on site to help anyone who is injured. A medic has been shot, and that is with a less lethal ammunition. So we did see that earlier at the scene where Dante Wright was killed by police. They did shoot 2 individuals with rubber bullets after individuals had hopped on 2 of the police vehicles and kicked out windows in their vehicles. At that time, Ted started to retreat.
Apparently on the ground, if the police precinct is told either 10 minutes or 2 minutes, nobody can understand on the
that they
declared this unlawful?
Yeah. So are you guys gonna keep going, or you? You're gonna keep going?
Fine, keep going.
We're gonna keep going. Okay, where did you park at?
We parked back at the 64th and Lead.
Okay.
Do you have your press pass?
No. That'd be alright. So here you can see dozens of people now as we're getting closer to the police. That can be a sign of, unity.
We do this every night. Stay together. Stay tight. We do this every night. Stay together. Stay tight. We do this every night. Stay together. Stay tight. We do this every night.
Come on, man.
Come on.
So now, as you can see, they're waiting for more of the protesters to catch up. I was told that we have about a 25-minute walk. We've already walked well over 20 minutes. So unfortunately, I am actually on my phone right now, so I can't see GPS while I'm on the stream also. But yeah, we've walked well over a mile.
If Dante
protesters who are marching have now gotten back into a close-knit group and are resuming the march to the Brooklyn Center Police Department.
Every night, stay together, stay tight. We do this every night. Stay together, stay tight. We do this every night. Stay together, stay tight. We do this every night. Stay together, stay tight. We do this every night. Stay together, stay tight. We do this every night. Stay together, stay tight. We do this every night. Stay together, stay tight. We do this every night. Stay together, stay tight. We do this every night. Stay together, stay tight. We do this every night.
So there's probably about 100 protesters who are marching here, followed by about 2 or 3 dozen vehicles who are patrolling the area and making sure that there's no agitators, and then also blocking traffic to make sure that the protesters can arrive safely.
This is what unity looks like. Unity looks like. This is what unity looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Oh, my watch is still on.
Black lives, they matter here. 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 Native lives, they matter here. Native lives, they matter here. Black women, they matter here. Black women, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here. Watch my back, I'm under attack. You got my back. We got your back. You got my back. We got your back. I got your back. We got your back. Watch my back, I'm under attack. You got my back. We got your back. You got my back. We got your back. I got your back. We got your back. Watch my back, I'm under attack. You got my back. We got your back. You got my back. We got your back. You got my back. We got your back. Watch my back, I'm under attack. You got my back. We got your back. You got my back. We got your back. I got your back. We got your back. Watch my back, I'm under attack. You got my back. We got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. I got your back. We got your back. Watch my back, I'm under attack. You got my back. I got your back. I got your back. I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. No peace. 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 All counter masters. All counter masters. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. Fuck 12. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. 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 No justice, no peace. Are you okay? You gotta stick together.
So if you guys are just tuning in, we have already walked over 1.5 miles now. This march is heading to the Brooklyn Center Police Department. We have received reports that it is considered an unlawful assembly once you enter the police department, and so I will stay along as long as I can without going against their orders. So as a journalist, we are allowed to be on public property as long as we're not within that dispersal order. And if we have our press passes, we're also allowed to cover and document under our First Amendment rights. So I'm continuing to follow the protesters as we approach the Brooklyn Center Police Department. And so it looks like law enforcement is driving past at this point. That is the first time that we have seen any type of a squad vehicle, law enforcement present throughout this entire march. And it looks like they're going over into the other lane, but they're continuing to go forward. So not sure if they are headed to the Brooklyn Center Police Department, but I would imagine so. So again, about 100 protesters along with dozens of vehicles heading to the Brooklyn Center Police Department. We are probably at about close to 2 miles on this march. You can hear people continuing to chant despite the fact that they're winded. I definitely, am getting my workout in here as well. But, this is leading into the 3rd week of the Derick Chauvin trial. And there was already a protest that was happening before this happened. And so protesters were already gathered in St. Paul. They commuted here to Brooklyn Center to stand in solidarity with the family of Deontay Wright, who was shot and killed by the Brooklyn Center Police Department earlier this afternoon. And again, during some of the speeches that we heard today, individuals just reiterating that they are tired of cops in Minnesota killing people. They're tired of not just them killing people, but getting away with it. There being no accountability. We saw organizers, community leaders who have actually been pushing legislation to change some of these issues, change some of these laws. They were present today. They also spoke today. And one of the community leaders, Jailani Hussein, he often says in his speeches at these protests that we are not protesting aimlessly, we're protesting with a purpose, and they're doing so by putting forth legislation to try to make tangible changes. But until those laws pass, until people stop getting killed by police in Minnesota, protesters are relentless in their pursuit of justice. And in many ways, this is the only way that they can, really express themselves and express their discontent with what is happening here in their community. There was some damage done to two of the police vehicles. Tensions were high. The officers were face to face with a lot of the protesters. The officers pulled out their batons and were holding a line. And at one point, a few of the protesters actually stood up on the vehicles and started kicking the windows, causing damage to the hood, the roof, kicking out the windows on those two vehicles. And then shortly after that, it was very interesting, those vehicles retreated, and then that's what we saw continuously from those officers. They did fire less lethal ammunition at two individuals. One of them was Cortez, who is often out at protests. He actually showed us the rubber bullet that was shot at him, and then there was another individual who was actually carried away because he was shot in his head. And so we heard probably about a dozen of those shots fired after that happened. But after that, officers retreated, even as protesters pushed them down 2 and 3 blocks. The officers and even the National Guard just continued to retreat. And at that time, if you weren't watching, there were a number of protesters who followed the police cars all the way back to the police station. But most of the protesters went back to the site where Deontay was killed. And after about 20 minutes, maybe it was a little longer than that. It's a little challenging to track time being out here. But yeah, so after we were out there for quite some time, those protesters also decided to go to the Brooklyn Center Police Department along with the family of Deontay Wright. And so we have walked from 63rd and Lee in Brooklyn Center to now we are at Shingle Creek and Freeway Boulevard, right where you can get on 94 and 694. And so protesters are marching, continuing to head towards the police department, despite the fact that there have been reports that there are dismissal orders at the police station, meaning basically that people would be arrested if they gather there. It's unlawful assembly. And so despite that, people are continuing to march to the police station.
move forward. They have started pushing the protesters back.
So we're hearing from someone who's already been forward that they're starting to push protesters back if you're not in a vehicle.
We're not that bad, you a bitch in the house! Fuck the police! Fuck the police! We're not that bad, you a bitch in the house! Fuck the police! Fuck the police! We're not that bad, you a bitch in the house! Fuck the police! Fuck the police!
So we're actually, if you guys are wondering where we are, we're right by the Federal Bureau of Investigation Minneapolis Division, the Minneapolis Division of the FBI. However, that is not the destination for marchers. The destination for this march is the Brooklyn Center Police Department. Again, like I have said before, we have heard that the police made an announcement that it would be considered unlawful assembly and that they are arresting people, that a medic had been shot with less lethals. And then we just heard confirmation from another individual who was saying that if you are a protester, you're not in a vehicle, that they are starting to arrest people. And so, yeah, we have marched more than 2 miles now at this time, and I believe the police department is within eyesight. But the way that their police department is, you actually have to turn in, so you still can't see much yet. But we are getting close. And so, just for context, so there's a group of protesters walking, and then there are dozens of vehicles that are trailing. We are now starting to hear sirens at this point. Now we're hearing other vehicles who are not a part of the protester march are honking their horns in solidarity. There's actually a gas station here we're walking by. A lot of those cars are honking as well. The gas station actually just turned the lights off. I'm hearing shots fired. You can see smoke, so I'm not really sure how much closer I'm going to be able to go. Were you just down there? You're a journalist too? Yeah. What's going on? I'm seeing some smoke down there.
Well, I left right before that. That just happened right now.
Okay. Did they make an announcement saying it's unlawful assembly?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if anybody was hurt?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Thank you.
What's your name?
Georgia Fort.
Nice to meet you.
So I will get as close as I can without being in a predicament where I can get in trouble or hurt. You see quite a bit of press that is standing here, standing back. But yeah, I heard some big loud bangs. I'm hearing reports that it is tear gas. From my understanding, there's a few other individuals who are closer up who are also live streaming, and so people are able to kind of get insight on what's happening a little bit closer. And so I'm hearing that it's tear gas. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but there are some people now who are walking away. You can see the smoke there. Quite a bit of smoke. It is tear gas. So they are, we've seen this tactic used, after George Floyd was killed as a method to try to clear people out. I'm not going to be able to get too much closer without being affected by the tear gas, but I will get as close as I can. You can start to smell it, and you see quite a few people now who are leaving out of the area. The smell is getting really strong. It's getting really strong. Were you guys up there when they threw out the tear gas? Yeah. Did they announce anything over their loudspeaker?
Yeah, they did, but I couldn't hear it.
Oh, okay. Do you guys live in Brooklyn Center? No. You guys live in the metro area? Yeah. What brought you out today?
Tired of being busted.
Yeah. Praying for you, sister. So again, a number of people now are actually clearing out. I just spoke to some people who were close by. They said that they weren't right there exactly when it happened, but they were close enough, and they were already feeling the effects of tear gas. As you can see now, dozens of people are clearing out. Were you guys up there when they threw the tear gas?
Yeah, it's tear gas.
Are you guys? Okay.
Yeah, it's just a It's hitting everyone literally.
Yeah, you can see, and the smell is getting stronger the more the crowd moves this way. Lots of people coughing. And now people are retreating because of the tear gas. I'm also actually can feel it hitting the back of my throat as well, and I was not close. This individual, his eyes, he's rubbing his eyes. I'm also hearing that they're using rubber bullets. Yeah. You good?
Yeah. We lost him home.
Did they make any announcements over the?
You can tell now. They can't even use that shit anymore. No, that's bad. They said it was unlawful assembly. But when they shot them flashbangs with that gas, I thought it was smoke.
Oh, okay.
I know, I'm looking for it.
So at this time, many of the vehicles that were headed this way are now clearing out as well. The helicopter is still overhead. Gentlemen screaming that tear gas is not even allowed to be used at war. That was another thing that was very controversial during the uprising following the killing of George Floyd, because many people were tear gassed at that time, And so it has been a tactic that continues to be used by the police here within the Twin Cities area. And so we're seeing lots of vehicles congested in this area. I did not get too close to the police station. As you guys saw, they released tear gas, which caused love you too. We saw dozens of people starting to clear out. More people are leaving the area, while some others, now that the smoke has cleared, are going back in. But we do know that it has been declared an unlawful assembly, and they've already used tear gas and rubber bullets to try and quell the protesters. Again, for those of you guys who are just tuning in, and I actually had to kind of step away so that I could grab some fresh air here. For those of you guys who are just tuning in, a man was killed today by the Brooklyn Center Police Department, which is just about maybe 10 to 15 minutes outside of Minneapolis, where George Floyd was killed. And we saw hundreds of protesters gathered at the site where Deontay Wright was killed. His family was there. His family spoke with us. They were very grief-stricken. At one point, protesters were face-to-face with law enforcement who were clenching onto their... we were hearing more either rubber bullets or tear gas. I just heard a loud bang. After tension started to rise, we're hearing another loud bang. After tension started to rise, a few of the protesters jumped on police's vehicles and started damaging those vehicles. The police started to retreat. Well, protesters ended up marching here. Now I am at the intersection of Humboldt Avenue and 65th, which is several miles away from 63rd and Lee, where this first started out. And now protesters who decided to go all the way to the police department have been tear gassed, have been hit with rubber bullets. As many of you guys know, I have 3 children, and am not able to put myself as a BIPOC woman, who visibly identifies as Black. I choose to kind of stay on the outskirts once things get tense like this, because I don't want to be in harm's way. We saw also during the uprising, remember the CNN reporter who was arrested while his white colleagues were allowed to stay there and continue reporting. For me, I try to get as close as I can while it is safe. But right now with them, dispersing tear gas, you can see that it is, so strong and so thick that is going up into the air. And so I am far enough away now where I cannot be affected. I had walked a little bit closer, but it started burning the back of my throat and my nose as well. And so I decided to step back because it's also windy. And so the tear gas is blowing away. But we heard, since I had switched the camera back over, I've heard 3 loud bangs, which could be more tear gas, flashbangs, or rubber bullets, which have all been confirmed to have been used so far. There's also the mainstream media up here in the chopper that is reporting, and that's definitely a safe place to be. But definitely you don't get the sounds or the smells of tear gas when you're up in the sky like that. But anyways, we have been out here for several hours. We know that the Brooklyn Center Police Department issued unlawful assembly orders, meaning that anyone who assembled at the Brooklyn Center Police Department would be arrested. And so now we've seen, probably because there was too many people there for them to arrest, they have used tactics such as, releasing tear gas and rubber bullets to get people to disperse. Initially, when the first round of tear gas went off, if you've been here with us for quite some time, then you've seen more than 100 people have retreated from that area. Many of the vehicles have retreated as well. However, there was a number of individuals who did decide to go closer. I started being impacted. I was a little bit closer, about a half a block closer, and my throat and nose both started burning, even despite the fact that I had a mask and was more than 200 to 300 feet away. So I decided to come back a little bit further. Usually in these cases, we know that the BCA is investigating. The Bureau of Criminal Apprehension was on scene collecting evidence, and the BCA is the entity that typically investigates police shootings so that police are not essentially investigating themselves. And so I am guessing because of the community response, we may see the dash cam or body cam footage released soon in this case to try to, quell any protest, any further protesting. But, it's Sunday night. We are here the night before day 1 of week 3 in the Derick Chauvin trial. And so this is why this community continues to protest. This is why this community has been relentless in advocating for change within the police departments. You can see more people are just kind of standing around, crowding around. It looks like some of the groups are heading back down to the police station. But quite a few people are still sitting in their cars. A little bit of time passed after the first, flashbang that we heard, and then we heard 3 more. So I'm guessing if people continue to go down there, that they will continue to use force and different tactics to get people to retreat. But we do know that they have made threats of arresting people. This would be the first protest. If people get arrested tonight, this would be the first protest since the trial for Derick Chauvin started that anybody has been arrested during a protest. The Minneapolis Police Department has issued many press conferences saying that they really do not want to arrest people. And so to be this far into the trial without any arrests says a lot about the protesters, being peaceful. But tonight we know that emotions were high because another person was killed. Another person lost their life at the hands of law enforcement, the individuals who are supposed to protect and serve. And, we saw a moment too where the emotion shifted and people were grieving and mourning and celebrating Deontay's life. Some of his friends were there crying. I can't believe it's Deontay. Some of his relatives were there also crying. We're seeing quite a few cars now drive pretty fast close to the precinct. And quite a few people still standing around. Now, you have to remember this protest started a few miles away from where we are now. And so people's cars are actually on the other side of town now. And some folks are calling Ubers. Some folks are waiting it out. It says, comment from Amber, this was a peaceful protest until they started shooting tear gas. Yeah, it was very peaceful. I will say there was a moment where individuals did jump on top of the police vehicles, and that is when we saw the police start their use of force. After that, they started to retreat. They retreated fully, and once the protests started marching towards the police department, that is when we started seeing them use more force. I want to thank all of you guys who have been watching along here. I am an independent journalist based out of the Twin Cities area. I am live streaming the trial for the officer charged with the murder of George Floyd. So make sure you guys like and sign up for notifications so that you can watch this trial. We're going into week 3, so this trial is getting ready to wrap up. We are probably about a week or 2 away from a verdict to find out whether or not Derick Chauvin will be found, guilty for George Floyd's death. So yeah, if you guys want to follow along on that trial coverage, make sure you guys follow and sign up for the notification so you guys can see when I go live again. And typically when there's officer involved shootings, this is night 1 of when Deontay was killed. But typically we see the community rally together and put pressure against the police department, hoping that charges will happen, or trying to see if the police footage will be released. And so I'm going to continue following this as it develops. If we see any dash cam or body cam released in this case, I will definitely share it with you guys. If there are future protests that happen following this police killing, I will definitely be there live streaming following this. And then again, the trial. And for those of you who understand the value of independent journalism, I'm hearing more bangs. I just heard 3 or 4 bangs again at the police department. I was starting to step away as it seemed like it was calming down, but either those were flashbangs or more tear gas potentially. But no, I was just going to say to you guys that, and here I'll turn it back around so you guys can see what I'm seeing here. Right now, no smoke, but I did just hear about 3 or 4 loud bangs. But if you guys understand the value of independent journalism, you're getting on the ground look at what's happening and hearing from community members in real time as it's happening. Please support my work. The only way that I can continue to do this work is by your guys' support. And so you can do so by going to my website, which I will put in the comments here, georgiaford.com, and go to the support tab. You can either make a one-time contribution or become a monthly subscriber. And so I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys watching. So the 3 or 4 bangs that we heard have not resulted in any more smoke. And a lot of the traffic here, as you can see now, has cleared out. There's still a few people who are kind of standing around. Some people are catching Ubers back to their cars as we walked. It's about 25 minutes. I didn't realize it was that far. But yeah, we walked about 25 minutes. There's still quite a bit of traffic circulating in this area. Individuals speeding. My Cash App is the money sign by Georgia Ford. I'll put that in here as well. I appreciate you guys so much. And then I don't know if you guys heard that guy. He said stop taking effing pictures. There's quite a few people who hate the press, which can be challenging and dangerous in and of itself. Quite a few people in this community know my work. And I don't just amplify Black grief. I show up in community to amplify Black joy. I think it's very important that as we're, documenting social injustices like this, that we're also showing up for the book readings and, the giveaways and the celebrations. And so if you look through my body of work, I have dozens of videos on my Facebook and my Instagram predominantly, where I'm good, thank you. Oh, okay, thank you, I appreciate it. Y'all got room in there? Will you give me a minute? So So that's an example of how community shows up and people who know your work and support you. Actually, one of my good friends is in the vehicle there. So, yeah, my battery is getting low too, and things are calming down. So I am actually going to go ahead and wrap this live up. But I appreciate all of you guys watching, tuning in. Yep. Oh, this actually died. And mine is about to die too. I had it plugged in, but my extra battery pack died too. So, but thank you guys for tuning in today. I actually cried. There were moments during this live stream where I was overcome by emotion. I tend to be a very empathetic person, and I think a lot about people like Oprah who were fired because they had compassion for people. And so I think when, you know, some of the family was grieving, that pain and sorrow and rage overtook me as well. At the beginning of this live stream, I also had my daughter, my oldest daughter, with me who wanted to come and help. And she got scared once the police started forming a line. And so it looks like we're having some issues. Other people too who are trying to live stream, we're having some issues. So I am on my cell phone now at this point. And 2 police vehicles have been damaged. And as you can see, police are now moving forward at this point. We're hearing shots fired. Shots have been fired. There's a police killing in Brooklyn Center, which is just like 10 minutes away from where George Floyd was killed. We're going into the 3rd week of the Derick Chauvin trial, and another police killing. Another police killing in Minnesota. They're starting to shoot. We don't know who was shot at, but at some point. And so now police cruisers are leaving. That is a vehicle. You could see the entire back of that vehicle was shot out. One of the relatives of the individual who was killed has taken the microphone and is asking for there not to be any violence. The vehicles that were damaged are now being driven out. The front windshield and back windshield were kicked out of those 2 vehicles. It sounded like there were some shots fired. It's a little challenging because I am maybe about 20 feet away just for anybody was actually hit. But at that point, a lot of the individuals who were jumping on the vehicle backed back. But things have calmed down a little bit, but the crowd is still chanting, as you can hear. You all right? Was anybody hit?
The dude without the shirt got shot in the head.
Who did?
The guy without the shirt, they shot him in the head with a rubber bullet. They shot him twice.
Is he down or did he get up?
He got carried away.
Oh, I didn't see that.
In safety, right?
Yeah, she went out.
They won't even talk
talk about Dante right in the news. Don't talk about us fighting the police. And we don't even get to the bottom of why they murdered Dante Wright. Don't you fool around with them. You already know they murderers. They don't kill Dante Wright. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? They don't murder Dante Wright. Don't give no excuse to murder. We ain't got no assault weapons. Do we? They got no assault weapons. Right? So don't give them an excuse to shoot us. Let's get justice for Dante Wright. What's his name? What's his name? Say his name. Say his name. Dante Wright. Say his name. Dante Wright. Say his name. Now y'all heard his mama. Y'all heard his mama.
I see Cardell says what happened. There was a police killing in Minnesota. We're going into the third week of the Derick Chauvin trial.
But this ain't, right now we ain't gonna fight when they got all the weapons. We're gonna be intelligent. Right? We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We're gonna organize. We're gonna protest. They're gonna give us somebody, just like they gave us Derick Chauvin. We're gonna make them give up on them murders. Yes, we are. And how we gonna do it? We're gonna keep coming out here fighting the wrong something else. Damn right. We're gonna do this for us. We're gonna do it again.
You okay? You okay? Somebody got shot?
Motherfucker shot me.
They shot you?
Yeah.
Dang, let me see. So this is Cortez. He says he was one of the people who was shot.
Dude with that orange right there, with that orange gun, he shot me.
Yeah. So we're down from. I was streaming from my camera earlier, but because of some technical difficulties, I'm on my phone. So hoping you guys can hear people clearly. I know it's pretty loud.
Don't be violence baited into that bullshit right now. Hold the space, and take people to get there right now. We need all media eyes on this.
Okay, thank you.
What happened, and for them to not spin the narrative that they baited us into violence. Do not let them twist the narrative. Do not let them retell the story. If Dante's family is asking for us to peacefully sit here, we're going to peacefully sit here. We're going to hold this space for Dante Wright. We're going to hold this space for black people. We're going to hold this space for some motherfucking justice. Say his name. Say his name. What's his name? 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 One thing you're going to notice is that these overfunded Ninja Turtle looking SWAT team cats in front of you, they come all the way from Rogers, Minnesota. And they're looking real.
All right, so if you guys are just tuning in, I am at the scene of a officer-involved shooting in Brooklyn Center. As you can see, hundreds of people have already gathered here. I had a live stream going, and things were very, very tense. And so I actually had to take it down. Individuals started jumping on two of the police vehicles, breaking out the windshields and the rear window as well on those police vehicles. Officers then moved those vehicles away, and as you can see, they have formed a very straight line to try and prevent people from moving any more forward. But if you take a look, as you can see, the crowd continues to grow. When we first got here, there definitely wasn't this many people.
When you look these overfunded Ninja Turtle looking SWAT team cats in the eye, tell them how you feel. Very rarely when you get an opportunity to tell these cats who they are, tell them the truth, because they're going to go back to their hometown full of lies. And people start feeding them cognitive influence. So look these cats in the eyes, tell them who they are. Tell them who they are. Because they're looking real sleepy right now. They're looking real tired. I see this brother right here with the Rogers badge on. He looking real tired. He's trying to look like some British police, like he ain't nobody's face. You ain't no robot, sir. You ain't no robot. I know you got a mama. Tell these people how you feel. And what I want to ask is we know they're guilty, right? Because they all deal with this law. They all deal with the national guard. They all deal with the DPA. Y'all remember when that dude killed himself down
Thank you.
My mama just shot my brother with that rubber.
Hey, Cortez. Thank you. Cortez. Who is this dude? Who's this dude?
Hey, who you with, bro?
Man, are there marshals out here? Thank you. Can you just tuck it in the bag? Thank you.
Dash cam footage in this incident, and once it's released, share that with you guys. If there's more protests following this, we will follow this. And tomorrow again is day 1 of week 3 in the Derick Chauvin trial, the officer or former officer charged with the death of George Floyd. Thank you guys so much.
Here on the scene of police killing and
Don't shoot! 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 Don't shoot!
Here's an image of Dante. That's an image of Dante riding his 2-year-old child, I believe. He was killed earlier today around 2 p.m. by Brooklyn Center Police off the 63rd and Lee area. People have now gathered at the Brooklyn Center Police Department off of 66 and Humboldt. Tomorrow, Derick Chauvin trial continues. Police accountability is rarely found. Police seem to be continuing their aggressive ways towards a lot of different community members. Earlier today, they had surrounded a gentleman's house, a young man, for supposedly carjacking somebody. SWAT and all that came. I'm not condoning carjacking. It's the point of the aggressive policing that's happening. That was just earlier today. I think a little bit after they killed Dante Wright on 63rd and Lee area here in Brooklyn Center. You see the Brooklyn Center Police Department concrete has been given a paint job. You see fuck 12, fuck the police, ACAB. Police have shot a lot of less lethals and tear gas out here so far. There's still hundreds of people out here, and the crowd just continues to grow.
Hands up!
Facebook? Facebook keep cutting you off?
Facebook keep cutting us off.
Wow.
Every time they cut us off, we get good footage. I got hit in the ankle earlier with pellet or something, but I'm doing fine. Facebook keeps shutting us down. They keep shutting our feeds down. We reconnect. We're going to broadcast. This could be my son. That's why I'm here. That's the question. Am I next? Is my son's next? Why? That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. It can't have another one. We can't have another one. That's why. That's why we're here. We're tired of it. How many more lives have to be lost? How many until they get this message? That's why we're here.
Multiple people have had their Facebook cut off, trying to reconnect. The police have been known to use different Stingray and other equipment to make people's phones think it's a connection, and then also cut off that stream feed. It's happened before. I'm not saying it's happening now, it's happened before. Could be something to think about. Police have a bunch of water that they're bringing to the front line now. I don't know how far of a distance this protest has moved out to, but I would expect certain corporate institutions to be hit up if they haven't already throughout the city, Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, Minneapolis, even going into St. Paul and other suburbs. I would not be surprised if places are getting hit up, or if they will later. People are very upset. They're just done with this. I'm already seeing reports of some expropriation going on already at certain places. I believe the Walmart here in Brooklyn Center. It's only expected. All the police right now are dealing with this. All the people that are very frustrated at the situation. This is the recourse: either stand here and chant at the cops, sit at home, try to figure something else out, or other people are trying to use this opportunity. You see a bunch of the marker rounds here, the blue ones. See, somebody is wrote in chalk, Black Lives Matter, and Dante. Dante Wright. He was killed earlier today.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
candles right now.
I'm just tired.
We got vigil happening now. There's a triple chaser they shot. Triple chaser CS. Hey, you alright?
You got shot, right?
Yeah. Right here?
Yeah.
Did it hit your protective stuff? Oh, nice.
You alright? It bounced off.
Yeah.
Alright.
You want to talk at all? I know you're working, but...
Sure.
So yeah, we're joined by the journalist who just got shot. You can announce who you are if you want, but what was it like? You were just standing there and then you got shot.
I'm Tim Spire with the University Chronicle and Star Productions. It just bounced off me and fucking, like, I clearly have press. They clearly know that you're filming. Why did they shoot at both of us?
Right.
Were we really a threat out here? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it.
Yeah, there was nobody really next to us that I saw. Did you see anybody next to us besides you and I?
It was me and you, and that was it. Yeah. Like, apparently, two people filming is a very big threat to them, so either that or they can't fucking aim.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Who's on the ground?
You goddamn right. Our government was aiding and abetting in the crime of insurrection. You know what I'm saying? But they want to mobilize quick as hell, but allow some motherfucking white boys to run their ass in the Capitol. But they want to sit here and shoot proper bullets at us because we out here protesting racial equality. You feel me? We out here protesting something that's good. We out here trying to get in good trouble.
Yes, sir.
But they shooting, man, look. No good cops in the racist system!
No good cops in the racist system!
Get killed in the racist system! Oh, Scout, serious.
They scared. Chill out.
First off, the reason why I'm saying that is because that's what motherfuckers do. It ain't like I'm telling y'all to do that. Y'all already know what happened in Dallas the last year of Obama administration. You know what I'm saying? That nigga went out there and took out half the motherfucking police force. So when I say cops get killed in the racist system, it's because there's no good cops in a racist system. Oh, no, fuck you.
More shots.
Like I said, fuck you, man. Fuck you.
heard the chant earlier. It's now being started again. Where were y'all at January 6th? Aiding and abetting. And they're talking about the police. 6 Seattle police officers were found to have joined the folks that were prompted by Trump to come to the Capitol to take back over their government, or whatever they wanted to say. So again, folks are out here for Dante Wright. Check out our Twitter feed for a little bit more clips and stuff if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. And thank you all for being kind to each other in the stream comments. It's another undelightful situation, another family in pain, another community in pain, anger and grief fills the air, along with the physically felt repressive forces of the police. Hey, oh my God, how you doing? Thank you. Good to see you. My goodness. Yeah. You want to talk at all?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. A legend here on the front line. You can give yourself an introduction, and then you can talk about what brought you out.
I just came down to visit some relatives, and I was rolling on home, and I seen what happened. I heard the whole story. You know, they shot him up. I didn't know that one was coming at me. I was like, I'm facing the wrong way. So I just
come back over here, and you can face this way.
Oh, let's go, bro.
Are you kidding me?
God damn, shooting them all over. I think I just lost a lot. Oh, they're shooting at me now. What the fuck? Damn, I just lost some hearing, that's for sure. My shit is ringing. Woo. They just shot numerous ones directly at me as well.
Is it bleeding?
Oh my God, yes you are bleeding.
Fucking hell. You saw me, my hands up. Fucking smoke grenade right in front of me. Shoot me in the fucking ear. We're sitting on the street. Sitting on the street. This is the cops in America. This is what we tolerate. There's no other country in the world that's this fucking bad. Let alone a developed, first fucking rich-ass country. We fucking tolerate this shit. We have the highest rates of incarceration. We have the highest fucking murders. This is insane! Fucking do something! You fucking
Come here! Let me check your ear out, please! Let me check your ear out. I need to take you to the medic.
Yeah. Love you, man. You saw that man's ear shot. There goes a cone that was put over one of the CS gases. It's now burnt. We were talking to Jim Northup before that happened. They're definitely targeting press. That is a fact. They shot directly at me twice. And that last one, I swear I lost a lot of decibels of my eardrum. I still hear ringing in my right side.
Children in those houses! There's children in there! What the fuck are you doing? There's 4 kids in there! You're not protecting anybody! There's kids up there! What are you protecting? What are you protecting? Looking through your job! What are you doing? You can't even see what you're shooting at! You're just hurting people! What the fuck? 4 kids! Right in that fucking window, they're looking at you! They see you for what you really are! You don't care about them! You don't care about them!
You see all the green chalk? It's marker rounds from 40mm marker rounds that the police were shooting. There was one gentleman, as you saw, he got shot in the ear. They continued to target him. He got shot at least 3 times tonight, probably more. When we were talking to Jim Northup, they threw numerous concussion grenades and what was the other one called? There was a triple chaser, there was a concussion, flashbang, and then there was also like a diversion device, as well as some smoke. Some of the bangs were impressively loud. War-style sounds, damaging of the eardrums. The CS gas is just CS gas. It is what it is. Again, they shot the gentleman in the ear. A lot of people have lost their eyes from being shot. What's up, man? People aren't going anywhere, it doesn't look like. So that's 2 specific times they targeted press. One, we just talked to that gentleman who got shot in the shoulder area. Well, him and I were just standing together off to the side, right about where that gentleman in the white shirt is. And then you saw they just shot at me another time while we were talking to Jim. Again, that was Jim Northup, water protector. You see this graffiti is written here.
Y'all stand up on your goddamn computers, fucking around. Dante right!
out of that man's ear, his leg, his arm. Like, I just had to wrap him up, and he was sitting down with his hands on his head. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, you help him out? Thank you for doing that.
Fuck. That shit's fucking crazy.
And you see what kind of rounds he got hit with that?
No, because it came too fast. It was God first, and then...
Yeah, it's these marker rounds.
Yeah, some markers, right?
I know one of them, we put the cone on so it wouldn't get to him.
Yeah, that
and
was
then
like...
they shot it, they kept on shooting us. You see them shit? I'm used to it. We done got shot up all last summer. I done got bruises. I got bruises in my ass, to my legs, to my feet. We here. It ain't stopping us. They done came and shot us with rubber bullets. Look. Let me move away from y'all. They flashing their light on me and shit. They gonna keep flashing light. Nobody worry about every time, though. I'm telling you, them. I call these my worst stars. Fuck, we didn't do it. We didn't bring it back to old school. Our ancestors marched on these streets. We gonna march on these streets until get what the fuck we want. I'm telling you, ever since George Floyd, we're not going nowhere. We're gonna go from South Side to St. Paul to East Side, wherever y'all wanna go. We here. We got everybody. This is what community looks like when they come together when they get tired of this shit. This is how we do it. How we do it. This is how we do it.
Letting off fireworks.
Every time that fire blinks his light, they moving up a little bit, so be aware of this.
What if your mothers were hearing these words? Say his name, and then your name. They are now white, able-bodied person using me as a flesh with lifting black half-round body. Thank you.
White folks are coming to the front of the line.
No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. Justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. Justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. Justice, no peace. Prosecute the police.
So far, all the fireworks have been shot into the air. We've seen in the past a lot of fireworks be thrown or shot at the police.
No.
Shit.
We're in a suburb this time. It's Brooklyn Center. And we're here to tell folks that we're here, we're peaceful, and we can solve this issue if all of us come together and are united on